Okay, I'm very happy to introduce our next contestant, Lukuzani Mutswari, and he's from Mobile Drinking Water Services. So over to you. I'm going to start the clock.
Okay. This is the day that I've been waiting for, and I'm really excited to be presenting in front of these judges. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Lukuzani Mutswari. I studied BAc in Mining and Environmental Geology from the University of Venda. I have experience in marketing and sales in running a small business wherein I was working with my brother. So far on the team is just me and myself, but as the company grows, we're gonna recruit more people, we're gonna need a driver, we're gonna need a technician. Okay, perfect. So let me take you through my story. Right over there, it's my mom. She was working for the municipality. So a lot of times she used to come home complaining about the number of plastic that she needs to collect, especially during the times where there were events. So some other times she also comes home complaining about inadequate facilities to have water. But one time she asked me to come and assist her at her workplace, and I went there to assist her. And I really came home very, very, very tired because I had a lot of number of plastics that I need to collect. And also, I was thirsty because there at the sports event, there were no facilities to drink water. But that was the most remarkable day in my life. Do you want to know why? Because that's exactly the day my idea of a mobile drinkable water was born. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me take you through my solution. It's a mobile trailer with onboard purification system, which use paper cups to drink water. Imagine this: you are attending a sports event, or you have a wedding, and of course, halfway through the event, people are gonna be thirsty, and they're gonna need water to drink. What if we could give you affordable, clean water at an affordable price using a mobile trailer? Of course, this idea isn't new, but what's innovative about it in South Africa is not being practiced a lot. And we need such an innovation because people need water. So as much as I love that beautiful trailer that you see there, of course it's going to be a beautiful trailer if it's coming to your wedding. Just look at it, how beautiful it is. With a water dispenser, you drinking with your paper cups there. As much as I love that trailer, I'm willing to start small with a minimum input but maximum output to build the capacity to buy that beautiful trailer. Ladies and gentlemen, this floor bin that I'm going to start with to build up my market in order for my business to grow. So let me take you through the market in my area. In average, we have about 46 events in a month. So that's wedding, sports, funerals. But as the company grows, we're going to need more. We're going to enter into another segment, like music festival, campaigns for politicians. So imagine we have about 46 events. Of course, in a business sense, to get that, especially if I'm just starting now, it's not really easy. But if I can get a figure of those, it's going to be a good profit. So let me take you through the profit. Assuming that you are having an event of 250 attendees, for you to get the plastic bottles, that's going to cost you that much. That's the price of my competitor. But my cost, it's 1,055. You can see that it's cheap, and it's going to be priced at 1,900. So my profit margin is at 44%. So the capacity in 1 month, assuming that the trailer is working 20 days in a month. So the profit margin will be 16,900. So if we were to run a full running business, our total expense in a month is going to be 34,520. And our break even is just going to be 2 trailers, assuming that those trailers are operating 20 days in a month. So my ask, it's a seed funding of 100,000 to build a capacity for my business. This is going to help me to get a purification system and also a customized trailer. So my other ask It's a mentor and advisor who will guide me through this journey of entrepreneurship. Right now, I'm like a lost sheep looking for a shepherd to guide me. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. You did very well on time, and over to the Dragons.
I think you also need a treasurer in the church, not just a a mentor. And I'm happy to be one. Well done, man. Thanks. I like your idea. So I've got two questions. One, you were complaining about waste plastic bottles, right? That are waste, basically.
Yes.
And now you're introducing another form of waste, paper cups.
Yes.
What's your plan in collecting those or managing that kind of waste? That's one. Second question, your 20 days of capacity a month.
Sorry, can I take it one at a time?
No.
Okay.
No, okay, you can go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. Regarding that question, we'll be using plastic paper cups because they are biodegradable. So unlike this kind of plastic that are just one-time use, so those ones we can recycle them and reuse them. So it's unlike if you're throwing a plastic right over there. It's going to take about 1,000 years to degrade. But if it's a paper, it's much safer for the environment.
So you let them degrade there, or you're not collecting them?
We'll collect them.
Okay. What's your plan around that?
We'll collect them and recycle them. The bottom line here, it's encouraging people to recycle. Not necessarily that you're going to need a paper cups. If you have got a refillable water bottle that you have, you can just use it instead of paper cups. But some will not have it, but instead of using plastic, they're going to use the paper cups.
Last question. What's the basis of your 20 days a month capacity? How did you arrive at that figure? Like that you will be working at, your one trailer is going to operate 20 days a month. How did you arrive?
Okay. On this one, we arrived here from assuming that this trailer is operating 20 days in a month. So remember, the trailer will be priced at 1,900. So we're gonna subtract the cost. Then when we subtract the cost, we multiply it by 20 days. That will be operating. So if we manage this 1,900, if 1,900 we manage with the cost, it's gonna give us 855. So that's how we arrived at the 16,000.
No, my question is the 20 days. How did you arrive at 20 days?
Okay. Like I said, assuming that the trailer is working, that is the capacity in 1 month. That assuming that the trailer will be working 20 days.
I think the question is, how did you get to 20 days?
How
do you know that you'll be using the trailer 20 days?
Okay, so we excluded the weekends that I need time to rest. So yeah, to go to church and to do. Yes, so we subtracted that 10 days. Then it's gonna be 5 days in a week. That gives you 20. So it's working 5 days.
Yeah.
Yes. I also noted that.
Super.
It depends on. Imagine a gathering like this with 250 people. So that's already, it's not a weekend. It's during the week like today. So imagine the trailer is just sitting there and people are drinking it from there. So that's excluding the weekend, but not necessarily that we're going to be operating only on weekends.
Okay. Super. Just a quick question on my end.
Yes.
And thanks for a great presentation.
Thank you.
There's always a risk. The reason why people would go for this, though we know it's unsustainable, it's purely because there's some level of confidence that perhaps this water is safe. So how do we ensure that your water does not get contaminated? and how do we know that that water is actually safe for drinking? Maybe you can also talk to your source. What is the source of that water? Where does the water come from?
Okay. That cost that you see over there, I calculated it using the water tap that we have in our home. So the municipality water, it costs 40 cents per liter. So that's how we got there. So we're going to be using the municipality tap water and also purifying it with the purification system.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry, we're going to have to cut you there. Very engaging session from the Dragons. Thank you, and a bit of humor. Thank you so much. You did really well. I'm going to welcome the next contestant while the judges are adding the scores. All right, this is contestant number 7. We're almost at the 10, so I hope the judges still have enough water and energy. I'm going to welcome Mohamed Khale Tsadi, and he's from Vihenik Farm. Vihenik Farm, sorry. You can correct me for that. Over to you. I'm going to start the clock.
Good morning. Morning. What if we could grow more food sustainably in rural communities where the need is greatest? My name is Mokhala Tladi, and I'm the co-founder of Authentic Farm, a business that fulfills 4 sustainable development goals. Many farmers in rural areas are struggling with water scarcity, and that affects local food production. People with disabilities are also finding it very challenging to work in traditional farm. We have built a highly efficient hydroponic system that recirculates water in the PVC pipes. The system What makes our system special is that we have easy to remove growing channels that allow people with disabilities to work comfortably. This is Ngwaku Sikula and I discussing how we can make a long-term positive contribution to humanity and our planet. We are both graduates with business training, and we also received won an international competition. We both graduated from Wits University with BSc in Biological Sciences, and we received business training from CEDA. In 2020, we won the End Poverty Innovation Challenge, and we regularly receive expert advice from the University of Limpopo and CEDA. I'm also part of the YBT program, where I've received excellent business development skills. So you must be wondering, where are we? In 2019, we built our prototype and registered our company. And in 2020, we received seed funding from the French South African Agri-Institute and the Social Ventures Foundation. And we also received access to 400 meter square piece of land for expansion. Up to so far, we've fed over 18,000 families in my community. Our typical customers are people like Malijem. She's a 26-year-old accountant living in Mankweng with her family. She loves our products because they are fresh, nutritious, and locally produced, which save her on transportation costs. We've reached her through our Facebook page, which has over 3,000 members, and she has also spread the word. Our value proposition to our customers is to reliably produce nutritious food all year round. We are targeting the communities of Mankweng and Ramutap, which have an estimated population of over 107,000 people and over 32,000 households. These are mainly middle and low income groups who can afford 15 rands for a bunch of spinach. We are competing with small scale conventional farmers. However, we have the competitive advantage because we don't rely on soil, meaning we are not vulnerable to soil-borne pests and diseases, as well as crop rotation, which helps us to produce all year round. Coming to our numbers, we are charging 15 rands for a bunch of spinach or a punnet of herbs, and it costs us just 70 cents to produce, giving us a monthly gross profit of 14 rand 30 cents. We are able to generate a monthly net profit of 5,000 rands, which is 76% of the monthly gross profit. So what are we looking for? Would appreciate any advice or referrals. We also have a business plan that we are ready to submit to some of the funding opportunities we've seen on the Koi Group. Would also appreciate growth capital of 340,000 rands, which will be used for borehole, fencing, and solar panels to increase the capacity of our farm, and will also help us to generate a net profit of 42,000 rands monthly. We haven't reached our break-even point yet, but with financial assistance, we'll be able to do so in just 10 months. In the near future, we are planning to increase the capacity of our farm in order to supply fresh produce markets and retailers as well as schools. We also plan to get a food safety certificate, which will also be very useful. We are also looking at collaborating with other farmers and providing training opportunities for other farmers so we can be able to franchise our business, and I thank you.
Thank you very much. But you've got about a minute left. So maybe just talk a little bit about your climate smart agriculture plans in terms of water resilience, just for a quick answer on that, and maybe then we can open for the judges.
All right. This technology saves a lot of water. We are able to use 70 to 80% less water compared to traditional farming. This is because we are giving the plants exactly what they need when they need it, instead of losing water to the ground. We are only losing water that's absorbed by the plants, instead of having to lose fertilizers and water to the ground, as well as
Thank you. That's your 5 minutes. You just used 4 minutes, and I thought, wow. Okay, over to the adjudicators. Any questions? Can I maybe also give a mic on this side?
Thank you very much for that amazing presentation, and also we're going to enjoy the the herbs when we get home. Thank you so much for that. So mine is actually to just ask around sustainability, right? Of your business. Of course, you've identified a particular community. You've identified how much they can afford, and so forth. What are your thoughts around ensuring that you can have off-takers and guaranteed, clientele, in this case, retailers and so forth? Because I didn't hear you talking about retailers and the likes as prospective, people who can actually order large bulk, and so maybe talk to that.
Thank you for that question. Our plan is to train other farmers and empower them. So having other farmers will be able to franchise our business, and we'll also be able to have more quantities and be able to meet the demands of the supply chain that way.
Thank you. Really, really impressive. I'm drawn to this kind of stuff myself based on the work that we do. How much are you making now? I didn't get that clearly.
Net profit of 5,000 rands monthly.
That's all you're making?
Yeah. We had challenges during COVID. We were supplying some restaurants, so the market was quite volatile. So they were closing and opening. So we had to destroy a lot of our crops. That hit us hard financially. So we had to move back.
And how many people do you employ?
Sorry?
How many people do you employ now?
So currently, because of the financial issues, it's just me and my partner. So it's 2 employees at the moment.
You draw salaries from that 5,000?
No, we don't draw salaries from the 5,000.
Oh, okay. All right. So you've done this other incubation. So you've got CEDA, you've got the other one that you won the international prize for?
Yes, that's the Social Ventures Foundation.
Since 2019, right? So what's the difference between these three? So you've got that, and you've got CEDA, you've got YBT. What is the uniqueness of each of those? How did it help you?
The CEDA was helping with the finances and bookkeeping. So they focused more on the finances and bookkeeping. Then the YBT helped with the climate smart technologies, the green technologies. There were mentors who were helping with the coaching, the pitching. Neil, for example, he was very helpful with the business plan and the preparation for the pitching. So with the Social Ventures Foundation, it was mostly international mentors who didn't really have understand the market, South African market very well, but they also help with the international aspect of the business.
Last question. So the system you've got, how did you finance that? It was through the first grant, possibly?
So with the prototype, we worked at the Bioanalytical Research Institute and an internship. So we had to save up from our internship. Then we built the prototype. Then after building the prototype, we started selling. Then after selling, that's when we were able to apply for some funding opportunities. Then we won the competition. We got the French South African Agri Institute via the University of Limpopo. So we had some University of Limpopo's Rural Development and Innovation Hub, who was very helpful in terms of connecting us with those funding opportunities.
2 questions. You spoke about a prototype.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a revenue stream there? You spoke about training. Is there a revenue stream there? And you spoke about your products, which you've shared that there is a revenue stream.
Yes.
So I think you need to unpack your revenue streams a bit better, and I think each one will have a different business model.
All right. Thank you.
Good presentation.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. We got some really lovely rosemary. I'm not sure if the camera can see the rosemary. Thank you for the gift. It smells delicious. Yes, with instructions. Can you hear what Chantal is saying?
With instructions, add early to your cooking to release the flame.
Oh, looking forward tonight to a nice roast, hey? Thank you. Is the dragons okay? Do you need a moment? Are you all right? Can we start? Thank you. We're on program, so it's fantastic. Right, contestant number 8. This is Ripfumelo Masavele, and he is from Kumsamani Environmental Services. Over to you. I'm going to start the clock.
Greetings, dragons. Meet Machavele Ripfumelo from Komisanani Environmental Services. Imagine you are a farmer with a water use license in Limpopo. You are one among 3,000 in the province. And you know South Africa is a water scarce country. Every care possible should be taken to preserve, to and various measures are set out in the water use license towards the management of water and the possible impacts of the operation. This include water monitoring, water use quality measuring, preventing access to areas where harm may occur, and lastly, maintenance of infrastructure. This is where we come in as Komisanani Environmental Services. We offer water use license auditing services. Currently, there are more than 3,000 farmers with a water use license in Limpopo. And then a requirement is that it must be audited annually for legal compliance. You don't have to worry. Because we offer professional services. We do this by sending out pre-audit questionnaire, which stipulate the conditions on the decision of record, and explain those conditions in a language that the farmer understands. We know and use innovation such as drone and public satellite domains. We know farmers are very busy. That's why we radically reduces the time needed for the audit. We're planning to create podcasts and blogs about water conservation and environmental awareness, which will be published on our social media platforms and publications which are read by the farmers. Now you ask yourself, why us? Komisanani is a top and a reliable water use license auditor in South Africa. It is co-founded by myself and my brother, both environmental scientists by professions with a wealth of knowledge in hydrology, as well as registered with IPASA and SACNEPS. We differentiate ourselves from our competitors because we are expecting changes and details of water and environmental legislation and sharing this as a value-added service. Now let's talk about the finances. The water use license typically costs between 50,000 to 75,000, depending on the size and the scope of the project. The cost for us, it's time and travel. We're typically going to make a net profit of 40,000 from our audit. We can do one audit a day, and then we anticipate to do 20 audits per month. That means we can make a gross profit of 800,000 before taxes and salaries. And we estimate that within 6 months, we can be at a break-even. Future growth. We will start in one part of Limpopo, Makhado area, and move from district to district, and then venture into the rest of South Africa and be able to bring in other services into the company. Currently, we require assistance with mentorship, access to market, and help to raise and assistance to raise 70,000, which 10,000 is going to be used for marketing, 10,000 it's used for branding, 20,000 for marketing, and 40,000 for stationery and equipment. Let us work together for the betterment of the environment. I thank you.
Thank you very much. You did very, very well. So we'll open for the dragons.
Thank you so much, Ripumelo, for the presentation. I've just got a few questions. First of all, you mentioned the use of drones and public satellite technology. What is the cost of deployment, and how is that factored into your pricing? I understand with consultation, a bulk of the cost would be your incidentals, travel, and HR. But what is that cost, because it's not coming through? And also, what informs your monthly sales? I think when you talked about your competitive advantage, you talked about being top and reliable, but what does that mean? What will cause a certain farmer in Limpopo to utilize your services rather than many of the auditors that already exist in the area? Thanks.
Okay. I will start with why the farmers will choose us. We are environmental scientists by professions. We have the qualifications, we have the experience, we have the skills, and we have the knowledge to do the water use license audit. And that, I think it makes us experts in changes and details about water and environmental issues. About the drones, we are aware that to operate a drone, you will need a license. We are a startup. That's why right now we will outsource. We'll get a company which offers the service, and then they will do it for us. They will do the drones for us. until, while we're working towards getting our own license to operate the drones. I'm not sure if I've covered all the questions.
Yeah, and just also probably speaking to that, thanks for the presentation. Essentially, you spoke about 20 per month that you were thinking about basing your costs on. But is the demand really there? Have you gone out and checked with the, there are two types of farmers in South Africa, the emerging ones and the established ones. And the established ones tend to have had a long history of using auditors, etc. So they would have already had companies. So do you truly understand the demand in terms of the new and emerging? And secondly, in terms of the competitor space, what unique offering are you going to offer compared to the existing, I suppose, hydrologists that are out there offering the same service? And then finally, in terms of, you spoke about the two professional bodies that you are registered with. In terms of expanding and marketing and really building your business, what are you thinking in terms of, because these are specialist services, so you have to build networks. I didn't hear you speak too much around, the kind of spaces that you're going to go into that to make sure that everyone knows you and what you offer in this area.
Okay, thank you for the questions. About the value, we will offer a value-added service to our clients. And then the demand is there. Farmers, we did our study, and in Limpopo we found that there are more than 3,000 farmers with a water use license. And then it must be audited annually. So the demand is there. The 20 audits per month, it's the estimation. Chances are we might not do it, we might not do 20 per month. But we anticipate that if we get a contract, we can do 20 per month.
Thank you very much for your presentation. Mine is actually a question around deciding, because I have a bit of a challenge when a company niches themselves too thinly. If I say the only thing that I do within my consultancy space is water licensing, say auditing. So I'm wondering whether, perhaps, if you look at farmers, great, but do you not have an overarching, way to actually say the audits that you do, so that it doesn't only look at a particular segment of the market? Do you anticipate that you could work with? I know that even mines do actually have water licenses and so forth. So I'm wondering, in terms of your focus area, are you only primarily focusing on the farmers, specifically, and why? Basically, what drives that?
Okay, water use license is needed in farming, construction, mining, and to name the few. However, we have chosen farming because farmers are repeat and reliable customers when they are satisfied with the services. But that doesn't limit us to farming. Because the processes are the same, we can expand and do audits in mining and other sectors.
So my piece of advice to you would be, find a way not to niche it too thinly. Look at what you do auditing, right? You specialize in auditing, but the auditing that you do can be applied to different sectors, so that it gives us peace that there is a market, and you'll actually be able to service the particular market. Thank you.
Thank you for the excellent advice. I think diversification and the risk mitigation is always very important. So good advice. You're lucky to get some good advice. Thank you. You did very, very well. And we're going to set up now for the next person. Thank you so much. All right. Contestant number 9. Sibongile Sitole, and she's from MLPC Projects. So I'm starting the clock. Over to you.
Sub-Saharan Africa has more than 620 million people living without access to electricity and clean water, with nearly 80% living in rural areas. Our mission is to enable the green energy economy and helps drive the transformation in Africa. Greeting judges. Let me introduce my team. I am Sibongile Pinky Sisole. I'm a qualified electrical engineer with 5 years experience working with companies such as ABB and SAP Smart Water Meters. I have an existing company, mostly doing electrical installation, plumbing, and maintenance. In my team, we only have one qualified plumber and one part-time electrician. We are going to need a solar installer that needs to work full-time with us. Our achievement, we have 2 corporate contracts with Kandua and FNP. We have successfully completed, completed 3 business programs. Alan Gray by Makers Hub by Alan Gray, Women in Business by FNP, and also Bridge Trust that we're doing now. Our business model, we are going to partner with technology companies, solar PV installers, and agri cooperatives to offer a packaged solution. Our target markets are residential and industrial property developers, and also rural agricultural development projects. Our services, what we are going to offer exactly? We are going to, in residential, we are going to install a solar system that will supply a basic household. We're mostly specializing in solar geyser. Our solar geyser will have an IoT sensor to measure water usage and energy cost in a sustainable way. In agriculture, we are going to install a smart solar pump that has an IoT sensor that will monitor water usage and enable remote control of the pump. Our market demand. In South Africa, there is a growing need of EDGE-certified green building. Currently, there are only about 39,000 EDGE-certified green buildings, and the numbers are constantly growing. We want to become EDGE-certified. Our customers are property development companies in residential and commercial. We'll help them to save water, cost, and energy in a sustainable way. They are competitors. To name a few, Energy Unplugged and Molaputi projects. But our competitive advantage is that our system has a sensor to monitor water usage and enable remote control. And also, we are partnered with companies such as SADC and Leroy Merlin. In terms of financial feasibility, we have 3 profit centers, of which is installation fee, procurement fee, and project management fee. Currently, we have the capacity to do 18 installations per month. That will give us a gross profit of 108,000, minus our fixed expenses. That will give us a net profit of 57,000 within one team. Imagine if we have 2 teams. We believe that in 6 months' time, we are going to break even. We are looking for investment of 200,000 rand to build the capacity of the business that will help us to scale up our business. We'll also be very open to any advices and connection that will help us to scale up our business. Thank you.
Thank you. You did very well. You have an extra 30 minutes for the adjudication panel, so that's good. Sorry, seconds, 30 seconds, of course, sorry. So over to the dragons. I'm going to hand it to Fred.
Yeah, let me pass.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that, presentation. In terms of because you mentioned that there are 2 contracts that you're servicing.
Yes.
What are you exactly, offering there?
In that, in that contract, we are doing installation services and maintenance. As I said that I have an existing business. This is the new idea of solar with an IoT sensor that we are introducing.
Okay, maybe you want to talk to the business model for the new solution that you're providing. How do you plan to make money?
I plan to cooperate and work together with property development companies and agricultural companies. We will get the customers through our website and word of mouth, as we did on our company that is existing.
Okay, super. Maybe let me phrase it differently. So I want to just understand: is it clients paying you a once-off fee? Like, 'cause I see that particularly when you look at installation, project management, and the current way that you've outlined, it's primarily once-off payments, right? So people pay you for that particular installation, and that's it. Is that the business model?
That's correct.
Okay. Maybe let me give a recommendation there. I mean, my recommendation is that, given that you're actually more moving into a services business, so
Yes.
that could be one of your revenue streams to the installation. But I think service, being able to monitor, particularly the fact that you're mentioning that you've got IoT devices, so it means that the devices can give insights to users in terms of their usages and so forth, and that's a revenue stream. So it means that you could actually, look at a subscription model where, the households that are using the service can actually be able to, pay you a particular amount per month. But you might also look into minimizing the costs. You own the devices, you own the hardware, and all that you focus on really is basically servicing them and getting payment. In that way, your access to market will be actually quicker than if you want to sell the product outright.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I think just to reiterate that what hasn't come out clearly is maybe you spoke about your competitors. And for me, when you spoke about your unique product offering, which is the sensor, the Internet of Things is growing, and it moves at a fast pace,
Yes,
which means
yes.
your competitors will also get it pretty soon. So the way you're moving forward at the moment is very projects-based. In other words, I do something, someone pays me for it. And I just think that when you're thinking about the uniqueness of what you want to offer, especially if you want the future of solar energy transformation, in other words, you want to be it at the forefront of it, you must think about the scalable model that you're going to apply, whether it's a service-based subscription, whatever that you're offering to households. It gives them the convenience and the peace of mind, basically, that I've got something, it's reliable, it's gonna do this. Especially when you're bringing Internet of Things, there's scale to it. It's not like a typical, I put an infrastructure, I service it, I move on to the next one. So just think about that in terms of the way you think about your model.
Thank you so
going
much.
forward.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mickey, for that presentation. I think I've got a question and just a bit of advice in terms of how you're positioning this. And the question was around whether your technology, are you developing it yourself, or is it something that you're buying?
We're buying. Sorry.
Okay, you're buying. Because if you're buying, then I think you need to refine your competitive advantage.
Yes.
It means that anybody else can have access to it, right? So there's no novelty if you are getting it from somebody else.
I understand.
So please do refine how you're positioning your competitive advantage, because it's not in the sensor, and you probably need to do a bit of work to try and identify where it is.
Okay, thank you.
And there are two things. There is capacity and there's demand, right? And you're positioning your sales based on the capacity that you have within the company. So you're assuming that you will be utilized 100%, and that's where you're basing your sales. There's a bit of work that you need to do in terms of what your real demand is, because it might be above what you have, in terms of your capacity, or it might even be half of that or a certain percentage of that. So I would guard against that. Otherwise, those are the two advices I have for you.
Thank
and all
you.
the best.
Thank you.
Okay, let me come in there. So I think you also need to look into, and I think what my colleagues are mentioning is very, very critical. Project businesses are now risky and they're not attractive for investors. So what we're looking for is primarily monthly recurring revenues. So we need to see that money is coming in on a consistent basis. So I think you can learn a lot from the Netflixes of this world in terms of what they do. Your capacity might be engineering, but you might now become a tech business, because now you're using IoT devices and so forth. So it's important to transition away from project work more to that monthly recurring revenue models, which I think you've got something very nice happening there, but you need to find a way to articulate it better.
Thank you so
Cool.
much.
Can we get a hand of applause? Thank you. Did very, very well. Thanks, Mongile. Very nice, soft, relaxing music. I hope you're not falling asleep. So I'm very happy to introduce our very last contestant. It's been a fantastic morning, and I'm so glad that we're still on time with the program, and we're going to enjoy a lunch very soon. So next up is Svarelos, and he's from Liquid Days. All right, Svarelos, I'm going to start the clock. Over to you.
Imagine you walk into a training course at a university or an event. In front of every seat on a desk, there's a box like that, carrying water instead of a plastic bottle. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Svarelos Malachi, the founder and CEO of Liquid Days Boxed Water. I am from Limpopo, in a small village called Practisier, outside Beggerswood. I've worked as a salesperson for 4 years before I went to study BSc in Community Water Services and Sanitation. At this moment, I'm the only one in my team. But as the business grows, I'm going to need an accountant, a manager. I also have an advisor who is my former lecturer. We meet twice a month to work through this idea. So our product is eco-friendly because it's 70% renewable. Since it's made from paperboard and paper waste, it is 100% recyclable, and it also has a low carbon footprint than bottled water. Our customers are companies and organizations who have committed to not using plastic bottles, which pollute the environment. And they need to take climate action by using boxed water instead. Our market is universities like University of Pretoria, who trains over 2,000 people a month, and other events holding companies like Event, Greening Forum, WWF, and Greening Youth in Dava. Our competition is Boxy Water and Water in a Box. But Boxy Water only operates in the Potchefstroom in the Northwest Province. And Water in a Box operates here in Gauteng. So what we do different from these two companies is that we collect empty cartons for recycling. Now let me take you through the numbers. Our cost of sales is 111 per case of 24 or 500 milliliters, and we sell it for 240 rands. Then our gross profit margin is 54%. We plan to sell 500 cases per month. That will give us the gross profit of 120,000. Our operational cost is 20,000. We have a net profit of 100,000 before tax, and we hope to break even within 8 months of operation. So, we are a bankable business since we have a business plan in place. Therefore, I need to raise a 150,000 just to set up a water purification system. If I can have a water purification system and a filling machine and a factory here in Gauteng, then we are good to go. Thank you.
Hey, you did very well on time. You only utilized 4 minutes, almost 4 minutes, a little bit less than 4 minutes. So over to the dragons for questions.
Thank you. Sweet and short. You list WWF as a partner, or right?
No, it's not a partner.
The market.
It's a market.
Market. Yeah. Have you spoken to them?
No, we plan on approaching them directly.
Yeah.
Just-
They already have their own product. You know that.
Yes, I know.
How do you know when you have not spoken to them?
No, I've looked up on the internet.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. That's good. I think their product is failing. Do you know why?
Why?
I don't know. I'm asking you.
No, I don't know.
Yeah. You can tell me why, right? All right. Okay. I'm just curious about that because I haven't seen an uptake of this, right?
Okay.
So it would be quite interesting to look at that, right? Have you spoken to the other incubatee of YBT? The guy who wants to.
No, I just did a research.
But have you spoken to one of your peers here?
Yes.
Is he interested in partnering with you?
Yes, in future, because according to the SDG 13, there's a climate action, so we will be forced to move from those plastic bottles we see on the tables, and then we use something sustainable.
Last question: why do you need a purification system?
So to make the water.
Why
purified.
do you need it? Why can't you just get it from someone who already sells purified water?
No,
and just package.
That could work also.
Okay. That's what I would advise, because I think that's an additional, cost input that you don't need.
Okay.
Okay.
So thank you very much. I think you're in the business of boxing, which is good.
Yes.
So Rest asked the question as to why some of the other products are not working. My question to you then, to find out, is whether you've engaged customers or whether they've tested the product, because I suspect it's more a customer issue than it is a business model issue. And it reminds me of the story of the paper straws. Yeah?
Okay.
And why many of them have gone back to using other sorts of more harder materials because of what liquids do to boxes, right? And then just an opportunity. Is there an opportunity to brand this box?
Yes.
Yeah, is that an additional revenue stream for you? Because it'll be great for corporate sales. So just a few ideas.
Okay.
Thanks for that presentation, my brother. I just wanted to check, are you planning to supply the box, or because I heard you talking about collecting recyclables, right? So are you in the business of manufacturing, or are you getting the box somewhere else?
So I'm getting the boxes. Are you finished?
Let me just, because these two these questions are interlinked. And what is the cost of the box itself? I think we have addressed the issue of the water source and the purification, so I'll leave that out for now.
Okay.
Thanks.
So the cost of the box, 500 milliliters, it costs 370. 370 I mean 370 rand. Oh, well, we plan to buy them from, what do you call? Alibaba, yeah. Okay. Why do I need a factory? For the water purification system to be set up there.
The core to your message and your branding is around the use of paper and then recycling and renewables.
Yes.
So when you start a business like this, you have to be absolutely clear what your value chain is in terms of what are you using as your materials.
Okay.
Otherwise, this is going to be add-on costs, but also you lose reputation as to what you originally started the business for.
Okay.
So if you're going to go like I think you said Alibaba, right?
Alibaba, yes.
I mean, how do you control that end in terms of what they're going to give you? So those are critical things if you're going to start a business like this, to think all the way around that value chain in terms of your entire supply chain, distribution, branding, etc. Because you're not just selling the box or the water, you're actually selling to people that they want to do better in the environment, behavior change, and a range of other things that come with it.
Okay. Thank you.
What's the drinking mechanism on the top
Drinking.
of the box? So to Val's point on the how do you source? I know that a lot of the box, when you, like in some of the European countries, they make very innovative cuts and abilities for you to drink. With a bottle, you can drink straight from the bottle like this because you can put your lips over it.
Okay.
How does that work with the box? Because I saw there's a cap on it as well.
Okay, the box is similar as that of a plastic bottle.
Okay, because I think that therein also lies your consumer issue. Just test it. Okay.
I think this is a great innovation or great idea. So I think mine would be just a recommendation.
Okay.
Do a bit of work, and I think I'd recommend that you partner up with an industrial designer. So there are a lot of industrial design students as well at universities, like UJ, for instance, who can help you to really find something unique that it will be local. Because I think based on what the colleagues are saying, it would be wonderful to actually have this as a homegrown product. So it's a product from South Africa, developed by a South African, and also it contributes positively to our carbon footprint.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks. Great pitch. Hand of applause. Our very last contestant.